ম্যাডাম নামটা কি ভুলে গেছি নাম?
Sir, myself Sonali Bhomik.
Sonali Bhomik,
School of
CSC department.
Engineering. Yes, CSC
Yes.
department.
Last, I want to convey this message. All the students, So today, Dr. Sonali, our faculty member of CSC, she will take the class, So she will discuss the very important things of the UHB class today. I think it is in second or third module, I think. Okay. So she'll be taking. So I request all the students to listen properly. And I also request to take some notes. Okay. Then it will be very important to you that you'll be able to grasp this matter very easily. At the same time, you can just write some questions that you want to ask after this session, So that is why I'm telling all the students to take some notes, on the topics what will be discussed by Madam, So Madam, you start now.
Okay, sir. Okay, so today our topic is programs to ensure Sayam and Shasthya. So our body is, self-organized unit.
Sonali madam,
Yes, sir.
আপনি যদি একটু কাইন্ডলি ফুল স্ক্রিন করেন।
আমি সেটাই বলছি, ফুল স্ক্রিনটা আমার আসছে না।
ফুল স্ক্রিন আপনি দেখুন, ও নিচে অপশন আছে, নিচে যেটা পার্সেন্টেজের একটা,
হ্যাঁ,
তার পাশে বাঁ দিকে, আরো বাঁ দিকে, হ্যাঁ চলে গেল টিভির মতো, যে হ্যাঁ এক্স্যাক্টলি স্লাইড শো।
আসছে এবার?
হ্যাঁ এবার ফুল স্ক্রিন, ঠিক আছে।
ওকে স্যার। So our body is a self-organized unit. The human body is what? It is a self-organized unit with a highly sophisticated mechanism. It is made up of several organs, such as the heart, lungs, etc., and various glands, all of which work in a close coordination. The body is what? Made up of cells, and each cell of the body has a role to play in the overall working of the body. Each cell is self-organized and participates in the self-organization of the body as a whole. All the activities in the body keep the body fit for the use of I. It means self. Now, understanding the characteristic and activities of self and harmony in self. So if you look the variety of activities, we are engaged with mainly three categories: activities that are going on in self, activities that are going on in the body, activities involving both self and body. So such an example, activities going in the self, analyzing, understanding. Activities going in the body are like just heartbeat, and activities going in both the self and body are like talking, eating, working, etc. Suppose such an example, whenever we are talking with someone, so we are using our human body organs. Not only that, we have to think and analyze regarding our conversation. It means both the I, that is self, and the body are involved in this regard. Now, another example, like whenever we are breathing, then only how our human organs are involved in these activities. Here, I, that means self, is not involved. Okay. Now, harmony of I, that is self, with the body. So everyone wants to live with continuous happiness. To achieve happiness, the body is used as an instrument. So we can say that the self and the body are coexisting. The information or instruction transfer occurs both ways. An entity that has capacity of knowing, thinking, recognizing can be called as conscious entity. On the other hand, any entity that has activity of recognizing and fulfilling only can be called as material entity. So we can say self is conscious entity and body is what? Material entity. or you can say also physiochemical in nature. So to maintain harmony in between the both, that is self and the body, two main programs we can follow. Number one is a form of Sayam on the part of self, and number two, another is in the form of Shastra on the part of the body. Okay, next, Sayam. What Sayam? In one word, we can say it's self-control, and its desire, urge, emotions, and delusions. It is control the outgoing tendencies of the mind and the sense and bringing them back to our serving. Self-control is a key to success in any field of life, and it is a necessity for self-realization, the goal of a spiritual quest. Practice of self-control is most purifying because self-control transforms the quality of our mind also. Okay, so in one word, you can say it's a self-control. What Saya is self-control. Mainly, it means a feeling of responsibility in the self for protection and right utilization of the body. Now, some features are Sayam. So we can see that there are mainly two characteristics: willpower and discipline. So if we control the two things, willpower and self-discipline, so we can achieve our goals. Now, advantages of self-control. So you can check so many examples. Keeping a check on wrong habits, addictions, give us confidence and improves our self-esteem, keeps our emotions in control, creates peace of mind, balance, and a sense of calmness in difficult situations, helps us to take charge of our own life, makes us more responsible and efficient in achieving our goals. Now, obstacles in the path of self-control. What are they? Inability to understand the true meaning of self-control, overwhelming emotional outbursts, acting without thinking, encouragement to exercising self-control, lack of faith in one's own abilities, lack of confidence, thinking that self-control is the opposite of fun. Next, Shastra. What is Shastra? This is the condition of the body where every part of the body is performing its expected function. The word Shastra literally means being anchored to the self, being in close harmony with the self. Health is a general condition of a person, you know. It is also a level of functional or metabolic efficiency of an organism, of an implicitly human. At the time of the creation of the World Health Organization, WHO, in 1948, health was defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In 1986, the WHO said that the health is a resource for everyday life, not the objective of living. Health is also positive concept emphasizing what? That is social and personal resources as well as physical capacities. Now, where we are today? So our state today we are facing different problems, and they are a lack of responsibility towards the body, a tendency for medication to suppress the ailment, and polluted air, water, food. Number one, lack of responsibility towards body. Our lifestyle has become very busy and unnatural. You usually do not give priority to taking proper care of the body. We have increasingly started eating at odd hours, eating junk food, and are largely ignorant about the state of our body. We tend to look with contempt at any kind of physical work or labor, that is, in an attempt to keep enjoying tasty food, We ignore the fact that we are eating for the nourishment of the body and not to maintain the happiness of self. Now, second, tendency to suppress ailment or tendency for medication to suppress ailment, whatever. So what is it? Whenever there is a pain in any part of the body, it is a signal of some disorder that needs to be properly attended to. However, our common tendency has become to suppress this pain by immediate medication and then forget about it. Our focus today seems to be more on fighting germs in the body than on helping the body restore itself to its natural state of harmony. In fact, today we are focusing a lot more on what to do if we fall ill rather than learning to live healthily. It thus becomes important for each one of us to become aware of our own body and its needs and how common simple medication can be used to facilitate the body to come back to health in the care of slight illness. Third, polluted air, water, food. We have polluted our environment today, and it is directly or indirectly harmful. There is contamination in the air, water, soil, plants, and we are responsible for it. Our food has become impure due to the heavy use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and a lot of pollution. Our food has all kinds of toxic contents in it. The air we breathe in is polluted by various chemicals released from industries, and also from vehicles, while our water is also polluted due to industrial effluents. So what is the solution? What to do? Our present lifestyle and conditionings are not very conducive to keep the body fit, and therefore it is important to understand Sayam and Shasya correctly and maintain proper harmony with the body. As a proposal, we need to work on the following few things. Number one, to understand and live with Sayam. Number two, to understand the self-organization of the body and ensure the health of the body. So, Sayam, implies that the self takes the responsibility for proper nurturing and the right utilization of the body. For this, it is essential to understand and functioning of the body instrument. It is also essential to understand that this instrument has a limited lifespan and undergoes a pattern of growth and decay. The interaction of the self with the body has to be in consonance with the above objectives, what I have said already, which are achieved through Sayam. Now, nurturing of the body. So, in the process of selecting food for the body, we need to make out the elements that make a complete food so that it gives the required nutrients and energy of the body. On the basis of understanding the harmony of the self with the body, it can be said that the foods need to be eaten only when we feel hungry. The choice of the food has to be such that it is easily digestible, and the food needs to be taken with the proper posture of the body and in the right quantity, of course. Does the following also become a part of our program? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, and excretion. So all you know that the first thing we do after taking the food in the mouth is that we chew it. There are certain elements in food that get digested only after it is chewed well. This also helps to simplify the work of the organs further down in the digestive system. Now the digestion. Once swallowed, the digestion of the food starts. For this, proper rest and the exercise of the body is also essential. On the basis of understanding the harmony of the self with the body, we can see that the food needs to be eaten only when we feel hungry. The choice of the food has to be such that it is easily digestible, and the food needs to be taken with proper posture of the body and in the right quantity. Now, absorption and also the excretion. So once the food is taken and the nutrients are absorbed, the necessarily or undigested part needs to be thrown out. This is also very important. If not done properly, then it starts to be adversely affect the body and causes multiple problems in the body. Now, the protection of the body. So what is it? You know that ahar, vihar. Ahar means intake, vihar is routine, and shrom, labor, vyam, exercise, ashan, pranayam, breathing, medicine and treatment, that is oshodi and chikitsha. So to ensure the health of the body, we need to take care of this all following things. So we have already discussed. So let us know that proper upkeep of the body, that is vihar. When we walk, the body gets tired. When we take rest, the body becomes fit to work. But again, there is a limit to the amount of work and rest we need. We also need to ensure proper time, posture, and ways to work and to rest. So we need to provide hygienic conditions for proper functioning of the body. These issues are included in the upkeep of the body, that is vihar or upkeep of the body. Next, the physical labor or shrom and exercise, that is vyam. So requisite amount of physical labor and exercise are essential, very essential, to keep the body healthy. You know, labor means employing the body physically for production and maintenance of physical facilities. Next, ashan, pranayam. Yoga or pranayam are well-designed exercise to keep the body healthy and to ensure the synergy between self and the body. These are exercises involving specific postures and regulation of breathing. Next, Osodhi or chikitsha, that is treatment of the body. When the body gets hurt or is in disorder by either misuse or because of the adversities of the environment, there is a natural tendency of the body is to heal and to come back to its desired state of health. So we are required to facilitate this process and not support it. Thus, when unpleasant sensations come from the body indicating disorder, they are to be properly interpreted and attended to. Right utilization of the body, that is sadupayag. So right utilization of the body as an instrument necessities understanding the purpose for which this instrument is to be used. Normally, we tend to believe that the body is an instrument for sensory enjoyment, which is not correct. We also happen to use our body to exploit other human beings or rest of the nature, which is not the right utilization. It is very important to realize that the human body is an instrument to facilitate the right understanding and its actualization in life. Okay, so my part is over. Now, Sudipta Dotto sir will describe. Now, Sudipta Dotto sir from our COC department will describe Another
Uh,
topic.
right.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Sudipta sir?
Stop
Please,
your
sir.
sharing screen.
Yes. Sudipta sir,
Yes. I
are
share
you
my
facing problem? Are you facing problem to share your
yes,
screen?
yes, ma'am. Facing
Okay,
problem.
Shakhar sir?
Really?
Shakhar sir?
Actually, this document is
হ্যাঁ
not supported.
Yes. So I need to communicate with Shakhar sir.
হ্যাঁ বলুন
Please make Sudipta sir as host.
Okay. Sharing problem, na? Okay.
Okay. Good evening, students, and good evening, my respected teachers. Myself, Sudipta Kumar Dotto, Faculty of Computer Science Department. So the another topic is happiness and the prosperity. So first of all, we decided discuss what is the happiness. What is the meaning of happiness? So happiness is something that people seek to find, yet what defines happiness can vary from one person to the next. When most of the people talk about the true meaning of happiness, they might be talking about how they feel in the present moment or retrying to a more general sense. Of how they feel about life overall. Next, happiness is to be in a state of harmony. And what is the unhappiness? It is to be forced that to be in a state of contradiction. And the happiness and the excitement are the two different things. So first of all, the proposal for happiness is the state or situation in which I live. If there is harmony or synergy in it, it is naturally accepted to me to be in the state or situation. To be in a state or situation which is naturally acceptable is happiness. So happiness equal to harmony. we show that when we are in a state of harmony within, we feel happy because that state is naturally acceptable to us. When we are in a situation with the outside world in which there is harmony, we feel happy as the feeling of being in that situation is naturally acceptable to us. This state or situation of being in line with natural acceptance is happiness. Similarly, what is unhappiness? So unhappiness is equal to disharmony, the state or situation in which I live if there is disharmony or contradiction. It is not naturally acceptable to be in that state or situation. To be forced to be in a state or situation which is not naturally acceptable. So is unhappiness. So unhappiness is not naturally unacceptable. That is to be forced to be in a state of disharmony or contradiction is unhappiness. That is unhappiness equal to disharmony. So happiness equal to harmony and the unhappiness equal to disharmony. So happiness and excitement are the two different things.
Is there any other PPT? PPT, I think there is no
No, sir,
change.
PPT format actually support করছে না।
Oh, acha, that's why I'm thinking.
হ্যাঁ, ওই জন্য শেয়ার হচ্ছিল না, আমার শেয়ার করতে দেরি হচ্ছিল স্যার। পিপিটি ফরম্যাটটা সাপোর্ট করছে না এখানে।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, তুমি এক্সটেন্ড করবো। ওকে, নো প্রবলেম।
Yes, sir. আচ্ছা, next is the key component of happiness. What is the key component of the happiness? There are two key component of happiness. One is the balance of emotion. Another one is the life satisfaction. So what is the balance of emotion? Everyone experiences both positive and negative emotions, feelings and moods. So happiness is generally linked to experiencing more positive feeling than negative ones. And the number 2 point is the life satisfaction. What is life satisfaction? Life satisfaction, this relates to the how satisfied we feel with different area of our life, including our relationships, work achievements, and other things that we consider important. The next is the difference between happiness and unhappiness. What is happiness? We know that. And what is unhappiness? We know that. So the happiness, the difference between happiness and unhappiness is, first, happiness is the state or situation in which I live, and the unhappiness is the state of situation in which I live. If there is harmony or synergy in it, and unhappiness if there is disharmony or contradiction in it, then it is naturally acceptable to me to be in that state or situation, and the unhappiness, it is not naturally acceptable to be in that state or situation. Happiness to be in a state of harmony, synergy is happiness, and that unhappiness to be forced to be in a state of disharmony or contradiction is happiness. So happiness is equal to be in harmony, and the unhappiness is equal to disharmony. So this is the difference between happiness and the unhappiness. The next slide is happiness the same as excitement? Both are same. Happiness and the excitement both are same. There are some question arise. The question is whether the feeling that we get is happiness or something else. What we get from the favorable sensation, happiness, is the favorable feeling we get from others' happiness. We get in the both cases is a short momentary happiness. This is what is called an excitement. There is confusion between excitement and happiness. So happiness, a harmonious state within. Our excitement is a short-lived, not sustainable, while a harmonious state within is something which can be continuous and sustainable. And the next is the prosperity. What is prosperity? What is the meaning of the prosperity? Now we explore the meaning of prosperity. Prosperity is a feeling of having more than required physical facility. There are two basic requirements of prosperity. Number one, right assessment of the need for physical facility and along with its required quantity. And number two, ensuring the availability or production of more than required physical facility. We can have a feeling of prosperity only if we are able to do the right assessment of our physical needs. The right assessment of physical needs along with their required quantity will come through right understanding. Without the right assessment, the feeling of prosperity cannot be assured. Regardless of the availability or accumulation of physical facility that we may have been able to do. Just accessing the need is not enough. We need to ensure the availability or production of more than the required quantity. This requires skills, technology, and production. With both of these right assessment and availability, we have more than required physical facility. Over and above that, it is a matter of feeling that we have more than enough. When you have a feeling of prosperity, you will naturally think or nurturing or enriching others. On the other hand, if we feel deprived, then we think of exploiting and depriving others. So prosperity is equal to the feeling of having or producing more than required physical facility. Next is the requirement of prosperity. There are two basic requirements of the prosperity. First is the right assessment of the need for physical facility along with its required quantity. And the number two is the ensuring the availability, production of more than required facility. Next, what is the notions of prosperity? By and large, there is confusion between accumulation of physical facility and the feeling of prosperity. It is generally assumed that the richer you are, the more prosperous you are, that is, the more you have accumulated, the more prosperous you are. With this sort of assumption, we pursue prosperity with an obsession for profit, for accumulation. That is happening all around. The major focus in the society today is on accumulation of physical facility. In particular, there is a major focus on accumulating money. Today, most of the wealth in the world is owned by a very tiny percentage of people. Many such people are seen exploiting others and exploiting the earth in an effort to accumulate even more. Without clarity about how much is required, the effort is more for an unlimited quantity of physical facility and by almost any means. First, the effort may be by legal means and then to even illegal. This is all because the quantity required is undefined and there is a feeling of deprivation. Next, program for continuity of the happiness. The expense of our living is the four following levels, child levels. First, number one, as an individual human being. Number two, as a member of a family. And number three, as a member of society. And number four, as a unit in nature or existence. We are living with all these expense of our being at this four level. Of course, we may or may not be aware of it. Okay, and then last part is thank you, and my part is over.
Okay. I think today's lecture is it is over now. Okay. Thanks to Madam Sonali Madam, also Sudipta Sir, So you have discussed and you have presented a very important thing, So that is very essential for the human UHB class, That is one thing Madam has explained, Sam and Sastho, and what's the need of it, how it can be maintained, mainly is Sodipayago and the other terms here she has explained. Okay, self-control, self-realization, and she has given some example just to explain it. Okay, so main thing is actually it is we will have to try to harmonize our body and self. That is the main concept, which is very focus of our UHB class. So that is being explained in every classes. The main focus is that how these two entity can be interlinked, can be harmonized. That is your main task. Okay, and we'll look to how far we can exercise, how far we can cultivate this to practice. Mainly the harmonize our body and mind. That has been explained very explicitly by Sonali Madam. And last thing that is important, that is a happiness and prosperity. I think it was last class, Kamala Kantus has also explained what is the meaning of happiness, but it's another dimension. Sudipta sir explained very explicitly, mainly happiness and prosperity. It has a interlink between these two. So prosperity, it is required also, because as you are a human being, we have some desire, we have some actually passion, have some desire. So how much and how far we can fulfill our desire, and then happiness will be achieved. This is the main task. So happiness, and the difference between happiness and unhappiness has been explained very nicely by Sudipta sir. And also, what are the components makes the people to be unhappy? Okay, so that has been explained very nice. Another thing, it was discussed in last classes also. So why unhappy occurs, So, and what is another thing that has been explained, happiness, what is happiness? And whether there is another terminology, there is a instant happiness and the continuous happiness. Okay, or some student told that there is a temporary or a happiness and the permanent happiness. Okay, so the permanent happiness is a continuity, process of continuity. Okay, so we have some desire. When it is fulfilled, we get some pleasure. It gives us happiness, But whether it is a permanent one, whether it is a entity of continuous process, so that is the main question that has been explained previous classes also. Today, Sudipta sir explained it very nicely the happiness, what the process, how can we achieve this happiness in our life, in our how if we realize our realize ourself, the self is a entity or a part of a family, part of a society, or a part of a human being, or the total world community, Then if you feel that particular concept, then the permanent, we can tend to the concept of permanent happiness. So that has been explained very, I think, the synopsis of these lectures. I have tried to just give some points, to the students. I told that students to write some notes also. I will tell Sonali Madam to give this PPT to the students in their WhatsApp group or their any other group. Then it will be helpful to them to follow this. And at
Yes,
this,
sir.
okay. And another thing I'm telling all the students that I want always, I and Professor Maji always encourage our students and our request to our students to have some query, have some question or some suggestion or addition to this lecture. So today also there is a feedback session also in Sunday. So have some shyness, so what will speak or what whether it will be asked rightly or wrongly. Then it gets confusion, this contradiction make the students to be shy. That is why we have allotted another feedback session on Sunday for 4 to 5. The students speak very freely in any language, English, Bengali, Hindi, whatever he feels comfort, he or she can speak. Today, after this lesson, at least 5 minutes we have allotted just to speak some questions or some query or some any explanation that he achieved today from this lecture. So I request all the any students to ask any questions or if he want to speak something, so please speak on this lecture, That is my, that is our request to all the students, Okay. Then the lecture today is very fruitful presentation, I think. So Madam and Sudipta sir explained all the things very clearly, explicitly. So that will be going on. So now Maji sir already, already Maji sir sent the attendance link. Everyone will give their attendance. So if you have any question just to ask, then we'll conclude it. And at the same time, Professor Maji has sent a attendance link. You give your attendance there. Okay. Anyone? Anyone? Any student can speak. Every time we always pursue and force the students to speak. Okay. Otherwise, we will conclude it. Okay. Or you can, I think that module has been finished, and examination will be taken. I think it will be taken on next day. It will be taken by Maji sir, with the classes which was taken by Kamalakanto sir. So there will be examination. So that will be taken by Maji sir. Professor Kamalakanto told me that. So anyway, that will be conveyed to you in time. So today attendance link is given. So if you have any question, please ask. I'm telling you again. Okay. Those who are attended very today, I think that I think 50 students or 40 students, they are attending in, I think, YouTube's, some students may attend. Anyway, so any question from student side, please ask. Then otherwise we'll conclude this session, Sonali Bhauming shared a file in the meeting. What Sonali is speaking?
Yes, sir, I have shared the PPT file, as you
Okay.
said.
Okay. Oh, Sonali, madam. Okay.
Yes, sir. Students can download
Okay.
the PPT.
Oh, madam has said. I think it's some students have stated something. Okay.
Sir.
Okay. It will be helpful to them. Very good.
Yes, sir.
So I think no other question or any other query from the students. Okay. Sakor sir, you can conclude. Okay. I just end this program.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.